What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
No music, no intro. I'm already laughing. Saints fans, if you know, this episode is gonna go up tomorrow morning. If you hear this, just breathe. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. Ryan and I are here to get you through this hard time. Like it's gonna be okay. I know the world of Saints Twitter has been ablaze today with the novella that have seemed to just unfold on the timelines with reports, and oh my goodness, it's just exhausting. Just everything. So Ryan, you know, we weren't expecting to record tonight, but we were like, you know what? We got to break this down for the fans. We got to talk to them about it, because I know fans are AK, like it's they're going through their feelings right now, and I get it.
Right, and you know, we've been talking about this all off season. First, let's just take it back. The question was this off season. The question was, is the Saints going to make an offer for an extension? Because we didn't know. We didn't know if the Saints would try to play it out like, you know, Carl Nicks or Pierre Thomas or Mark Ingram, where they wait until the end of the deal to start really negotiating, or were they going to try to make an extension knowing that AK was going to demand some nice coin? He's not Mark Ingram. He's not going to get $4 or $5 million.
No.
He's going to get double digits, period. You know, and the Saints know that. And as you know, a couple of weeks ago, it was reported that Saints had begun the discussion. So that was an answer right there. Like, we know the Saints are prepared to make a long-term commitment to Alvin Kamara. And if they are, they know it's going to be within the double digits. Where in that range, who knows? So, and, you know, immediately after we found out they were in negotiations, you know, I started noticing, you know, Alvin Kamara misses a practice. I'm like, no big deal. Then the second day,
you're like,
I just put like a little, you know, glassy-eyed emoji, like, what's going on up in here? And I asked around to my sources. Sauces. And I'm like, you know, nothing really going on. I'm like, all right, we'll see, you know. And then the days kept going, and I think he came back once. And
so
he
had
some more.
So first he had the stomach bug, and he missed.
Yeah.
I want to say 2 for the stomach bug.
Yeah,
and
the stomach bug.
Then he came back for 1 or 2, and then he was out like for 2 or 3. And like our last episode, towards the end of it, we talked about it briefly, because you can't fool us. Like we've been around the game too long.
Right.
So we had this. We like, man, is he pulling a little Melvin Ingram? Like, is he?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm good. You know, doing a little holdout. Didn't hear anything. So what I want us to do, we'll we won't spend too much long talking about it. We don't want this to be a long episode. But I want us to have a timeline. Like, I feel like we need to be a Hardy Boys mystery. This is going to be the Alvin Kamara Saints Twitter SVU episode where we gotta investigate. We gotta figure out who is saying what. I'll be Olivia. That's my girl. She's my G. You can be Tutuola. We gonna crack this case. We gonna get down to the bottom of it. So it started with. Let's be honest. It started with us, with our speculating, and then it was just confirmed. I don't want to give us too much credit for just like reading the tea leaves. Then Adam Schefter comes out and says like, okay, the Kamara holdout, could be tied to contract extension, blah blah blah. That was what
he particularly said he had unexcused absences.
Unexcused.
And that's a key word. Unexcused absences. That's coach speak.
Speak on it. Okay. So got that figured out. So that's where it was. And so that was what, 2 days ago? Yeah, I want to say two days ago, give or take. And then today, oh my God, it has been brutal, just every little thing. So first thing, and you might be able to piece it together because like I tweeted, my daughter got braces put on today. I was working. The Saints and their drama was the least thing on my mind except opening the timeline and just getting not amusement, but just entertainment of just like fucking of course. So then Josina Anderson, and I understand that she no longer works for ESPN. I get that. But it wasn't that long ago that she did work for ESPN. She also was the first person that broke that Manny Sanders signed with the Saints and agreed to. So let's not just outright throw her out like,
no,
I'm not saying
don't do that.
No, but I'm saying I saw it a lot on Twitter. Like, I
have too.
I'm like, come on, like, she might not be employed, but Josina has her connections with players and has always had her connection with players. Let's not trip on that. So she comes out, she tweets that the Saints are open to trading Alvin Kamara, and then the floodgates open. So starting with the Schefter tweet for the holdout, unexcused absence. That is coach speak. So then Josina tweets it, and then you have something that you tweeted that was perfect. Shout out to our boy Greg. Is when there's contract negotiations, you got to look at the prism of who is saying it and who does it benefit. Does it benefit the player or does it benefit the team? Because all this is negotiations in the public. It's like a messy divorce, or not a divorce, but like it's being done very messy. It's not like what we saw with Cincinnati with Joe Mixon. Boom, extension. He getting his $12 million. I think that extension also helped the Kamara side of things, but we can get into that later. So then Josina tweets that. So what was your first reaction? And then also piecing it together, who would that benefit if that information is out in the ether for the public?
Well, let's take it back a little bit. Okay, Adam Schefter tweeted, Alvin Kamara has been having some unexcused absences, likely due to contract situations. Underhill tweeted later, I think that day, that, according to his sources, negotiations have been ongoing, but, they're kind of far apart. That was after the Adam Schefter tweet. Today, Josina tweets what she tweeted, that the Saints are, quote unquote, open to a trade. Nick Underhill tweeted that Kamara and the Saints are actually closer than they were. They were closer than they were to a deal. So that's important to note. So, when I first saw that, I was like, okay, who is this coming from? Because Josina, she's not just, pulling that out the sky. She's hearing that from her sources.
Somewhere.
Right. She's hearing it. Whether you believe it or not doesn't matter. She's hearing it from her sources. Now, if you follow her, she is very much close to players and agents. Most of her sources come from players or players directly. Like
Yep.
she has
Directly.
them directly, yeah, or the agent or their team or whatever. So my first thought was this is coming from Kamara's camp. I mean, the first question when you think that is like, why? What would Kamara gain from floating trade rumors out there? Well, exactly what we saw today. We saw it, every media network cover it. You know, the flood of Saints Twitter. Everybody's talking about it. And that's exactly what it does. So it creates
Pressure.
an outside pressure on
yeah.
on the organization to get it done. Because if they are close, look, Charles Robinson, I think that's his name. He tweeted. You know, he's been kind of hit and miss over the years. He's been kind of right.
He has his moments. I'm still upset that he thought I believe that the Saints were drafting Miles Jack back in ain't been right with Charles since, bro. Like I still follow him, but I don't know if you remember that. But he was like,
I remember that. Yeah.
like I was hot, but
he had some incorrect stuff kind of with every time Breeze is going through like negotiations, he kind of gets some stuff wrong. I wouldn't say wrong, but maybe I don't trust who he's hearing it from. But anyway, with that said, he kind of pointed out that, hey, Kamara, you know, the Saints were looking for, you know, the $12 million kind of like Henry
and Henry and Mixon now.
Mixon and Kamara wanted the McCaffrey money. It was kind of an obvious, like, I don't even think you needed really sources to report that because we knew that was going to be the numbers that were going to be,
of course,
you know, that they were going to be working with. We just know it because that's just how these things work. So, and then you look at that, and then Sean Fazan, I think it was him, local area reporter.
Didn't even see what he tweeted today.
You didn't see it, like it just flew by. Nobody even talked about it. But he reported that his sources are saying the Saints offered a little over $12 million to Alvin Kamara. So if you just put all that together, it sounds like, you know, Kamara is shooting the shot. Like he has no real leverage because he's under contract for a year. He can't just hold out. I mean, he can if he really wanted to just held out for the season, but it would cost him a lot. He would lose his accrued season and become a restricted free agent next year, not an unrestricted. So he would, you know, he would have less leverage, and he wouldn't have the, you know, ability to show how healthy he is right now. So, you know, that would cause question into other teams paying him. So he doesn't have much leverage, but he has time right now. Like now, missing a little camp means nothing. So he could say, I want $16 million or F off. He could say that all he want right now. And that's what he's doing. So he's just trying to put a little pressure on the Saints to up that number from a little over 12 million, maybe to 13, maybe to 14 and a half, just to get it as high as possible. I mean, will he accept it? I mean, who knows? But that's what today was about. And then we got information from Ian Rappaport saying that you know he's been away. He said him or his agent have not requested a trade. They have not demanded or requested a trade, which is interesting because that's not what Josina tweeted. She said the Saints are open to a trade. So it was kind of like a play on words where they're saying they're just trying to say, hey, we're not looking for a trade, even though I still think it was their team, their squad saying that the Saints are open to the trade. You know, so it's just a kind of funny game going on.
It's some like I get it and I understand it because I understand how the NFL works and I understand how negotiations work, not just in the NFL, but just in life and just in general, right? But like if you're just like a casual fan, you're just like, what? So this is what this podcast is for. Just help.
Right.
Good. So then when that came out with Ian Rappaport, it's like, okay, so was it the Saints trying to put pressure on Kamara to take it, or was this kind of like, listen, bruh, this is what we offered you. You don't take this deal. We'll ship you to Houston. You'll ship you to Miami. And that you know what I'm saying? Like We don't know if it's one of those take it or leave it type of deals.
Right. And me thinking it's coming from Kamara camp, that might be that. It could have come from someone in the Saints camp.
Could be.
Or it could have been coming from another team. You know, because it could have been that some other team called the Saints and, hey, look, what's going on with Kamara? Hey, look, I'll give you a second-round pick. They're like, nah, you know, we're not looking to trade him, but if you did, you got to do better than that. And that opens the door to, hey, they are open to trade him.
And then,
which most teams are. Like, most teams, almost every player on every team is open to be traded. This is a fact.
Unless it's Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I mean, I would say Deshaun Watson, but
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Russell Wilson, maybe. You know, it's like,
man, there's been so many Russell Wilson trade rumors over that.
Right. Yeah, I don't even know about that. So it's like it's just a very small few that aren't on the block that way. Like everybody's up. You know,
correct.
Everybody's willing to be traded for somebody. You know,
like Ted DiBiase said, everybody got a price.
Right.
So then someone puts on my timeline, even I think it's because of the what am I looking for? The application that I'm using. Jeff Duncan's on my timeline. Been blocked, by the way. And it was, they want a long-term deal, but if they aren't able to get a long-term deal, the Saints would take a first round for Kamara. Listen, I am probably the biggest Alvin Kamara fan you will find in terms of him as a player and what I think of him when he's healthy and how good he is, and not just on the Saints, I mean league-wide. But I will tell you the chances of the Saints getting a first-round pick for a running back, and then that team has to pay that running back upwards of C-Mac money, in this economy, nah, man, ain't gonna happen.
I don't see it unless
you there's a team who has a shit ton of cap space and I'm just spitballing. I don't know anything. I haven't heard anything, but could you let's go down to South Beach a little bit. Imagine you're the GM, Chris Greer, I think that's his name, maybe.
Yeah.
And you're picturing a future of Tua time in Kamara. I mean, is that worth the first? I don't know, but I'm just saying the number of teams that I could see giving up a first for him is so few and far between. Like it ain't many. And that gets into like another conversation of the Saints taking a first for him and one of the worst drafts that you could have a first round pick in ever. Like next year's draft, like you don't even know. Like
scouts, like literally the scouts can't even do their job right now. Like they don't. There's nothing to watch.
There's nothing to watch. So you want a first round pick in that draft? Okay, all right, sure. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a mess, man. And then Tom Pelissero.
Everybody was. This was the circle jerk. Like everyone was in the circle, just putting their input in today. Good Lord.
Yeah, he reports that Kamara is showing up. Plans on showing up to practice tomorrow. And he was just away from the team. He needed to get an epidural shot in his back.
What? They say the doctor said I need a backotomy?
Yeah. So he needed a shot in his back, which was like, huh?
Like this is
that's
2 weeks before the season.
Kind of breaking news. Yeah, like what? So
and then it's like, who does that benefit? That benefits, I mean, in negotiations only, that benefits the Saints. Like
right.
if I'm putting it out there that our star running back needs an epidural, I don't want to pay you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pay you C-Mac money. Like take this 12 if we have injury 12 or maybe a little over 12 plus. If we have injury concerns about you.
Right. So I just thought that report was really weird because I don't know where that's coming from. But Tom Pelissero said he like literally just talked to his sources, and that doesn't sound like something that would come from the Saints. So because they would never say anything about an injury or something. So
especially with the season being so close.
Yeah, and that just kind of puts a hole in the trade rumors too, because anybody willing for the trade is like, huh?
You got a what?
Back shot. You got a back shot of what?
You need a back eye to me now.
Nah, I don't want that, So, and then just now, Ian Rappaport tweeted that, cooler heads have prevailed and they're back on track, just trying to get the deal done, working on each other. So, that was the soap opera of the day. So, they still work towards the deal, and that was literally, if nothing was reported today, I think that would have been the outcome, because this is just negotiations, man. And somehow it got to the point where it was being negotiated through the media. But negotiations are ugly, and they're a lot of sensitive topics get brought up. From the team perspective, they're like, hey, we don't want you hanging around these people, or we don't want you to do this, we don't want you to do that. We don't like, look at what you did last year. They bring up sensitive topics like that. So people get hurt, people get frustrated. So I think Saints fans just got to kind of step back and just kind of let this play out, because on the global view, when you step back, the Saints want to keep him long term.
Which I think, and that's a huge thing, because for a while, I would say for a while there, we didn't know.
I wasn't sure. I really didn't know.
And we've had this conversation kind of more offline. But if you just stacked up the top four that are gonna need to break the bank soon, I think we did talk about it on the podcast, but you have Ryan Ramczyk, you got Marshawn, you got Marcus Williams, and you got Alvin. Out of those four, to me, just talent wise, player wise, the guy outside looking in would be Marcus Williams. That's just me. I'm not trying to take away what he does, because I think it's very underrated, or what a true free safety with his range can do to a defense. But if I'm just stacking players of Alvin and Marcus, I don't think it's particularly close. So when like a day like today happens, it's like, well, maybe I'm wrong. And then listen, I know people who listen to this podcast wasn't the people saying this. But if you were using this dumb, backwards logic reasoning of, LOL, the Saints pay Taysom, but they won't pay their start. Big blocked. Like,
bro, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life, bro. Man, sit your dumb ass down, man. Like, that's.
I saw, like, you don't get annoyed very often, but you were.
Hot.
You was hot, bro. I saw it.
Because it's so stupid. One, because it's just weird to me that like these like NFL, like these little low-key NFL analysts that work for nobody. And I'm not shaming nobody. Look, I don't work for nobody. I mean, we all in this game. But it's like these guys get some reason Taysom Hill just
it's weird.
Crazy.
Man.
It's weird. Like
it's weird. Like, I understand that he, like, quote unquote, is not a quarterback, but like the disrespect he gets around Twitter for like it's so annoying. Like, watch a Saints football game. He was the best player on the field against the Vikings. Like, he nearly won that game on his own. Like, please stop with it's ridiculous. It's truly ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, man. And then it's just stupid because one has nothing to do with the other.
No.
Taysom Hill getting his deal, he's getting, he has a $2 billion like cap hit this year. And whatever he gets paid next year, like, I don't know, $8 million or something like that. It has nothing to do with Kamara. Like, Taysom Hill could have not been extended at all, and they'll still be having the negotiations with Kamara right now. It'll be the same thing, because the negotiations is not about the cap. It's about how much do we want to commit to Alvin Kamara long term?
Just like it was with Mark Ingram, just like it was with Carl Nicks. Like, you've said this before. Mickey Loomis and the Saints, they have a number in mind, whether that's extending players, free agents, whatever it is. When they get to that number, I mean, it's either, all right, well, we're here. You can either take it or leave it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. They rarely budge from it. I think the only time they budged is with Drew Brees with his first contract. His second contract with the Saints in 2012, because they kind of came down on like 18.5 per year. But like Drew Brees, he wanted the 20 million.
20,
he wanted 20 or 100. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wanted, and he wrote it out. He threw the franchise tag and all that stuff, and he worked to get to that point. And the Saints like dragged it out as long as possible to get there. And that's what it'll take to get really, really get what you want. And Drew Brees, obviously, he's different because he's the franchise quarterback, the face of the team. So he has that leverage, to do that. Where a running back, if push came to shove, I think the Saints would walk away if they had to. I don't think they would trade him this year.
So so I want to talk about the whole notion of trading him. It makes no sense to trade him this season.
It doesn't.
Like not even remotely a little bit of sense to trade him this season. This is supposed to be the all in. So I tweeted this earlier. Have him play out the season, unless it's gotten to like it also makes no sense. Like we talked earlier, it makes no sense for Alvin to hold out. Like, has he seen Le'Veon Bell? Like what that did for him? Like holding out a season, to prove a point, to get paid. And I am always get your money, especially in the NFL, especially during pandemic.
Always
get your money. Derwin James out for the season again. Get paid if you're a player. So I'm never going to begrudge a player of that. But the Le'Veon Bell experience, or the Le'Veon Bell, although that's kind of an outlier and it's, not a very large sample size, hasn't really worked out for him. Like, yeah, he got paid, but the Jets, like, he might not even make the team. Like, he might get cut.
He might be unemployed soon.
So just in terms of like it, I don't see how him sitting out of season either. Play out the season. At the end of the season, whether the Saints win the Super Bowl, they don't, whatever, the Saints have two options. They can franchise, or they have three. Well, they can franchise tag him at the running back rate, which I don't think is super crazy expensive.
It's not crazy.
Or they could transition tag him. And, they can transition tag him and basically let the league set his worth. Like, a team offers him a contract and the Saints choose if they're going to match it or not. Like, so the talk of him being traded prior to this season or prior to, week one, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how that benefits either side.
It makes no sense. Makes no sense.
I will say, though, we have seen the Saints when because it sounds like you said, things are said during negotiations, et cetera, man, there's some things when are said in negotiations and things, blah, 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 like you can't take back. Like we saw how the Jimmy Graham, Sean Payton relationship never got better after the whole arbitrator thing. And
that
was it. It was it. We don't know if today, because it sounded like it got personal. I don't want, what I'm saying? I don't know. But just judging from all that we heard and read and on the Twitter and all that, like it was not a walk in the park today is the best way I can describe it. It sounded like probably some, Ian tweets that cooler heads has prevailed and, they're still working on a deal, but just I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And I don't know what it means long term. But I still go back to the point that the Saints want to keep him long term, and it is very rare that we've seen when the Saints want to keep somebody long term that they don't get to keep the guy.
It's also, I remember when we were talking about, we didn't know if the Saints were going to keep Mike Thomas. Like we had, because just historically, skill position players have been very replaceable to Sean Payton.
but they also hadn't been as good as these guys are. Like these are all pro level talents, and teams just typically don't let those guys walk out. So it just makes sense that the Saints are at least going to try to keep these guys in this core. It's a good core, man. Like it gives you that Super Bowl window.
Even without like, I mean, let's say this is Drew's last season. Like I don't feel as a fan that like the world is over. I mean, we're gonna miss Drew. Like we're gonna see the difference. That's just period.
You would just have to win differently. You would have to win differently. You're not going to win by putting the ball in the QB's hand with 1 minute left. You know what I'm saying? Like we're used to doing.
Let's say next season, your core is locked up in Mike Thomas, Alvin, Ramczyk, Marshawn, and let's say, Jameis, Big Creep number 2, is starting quarterback. Like, is that terrible? Like there's a lot worse teams. You could be in a lot worse positions than that.
You still be like a top 10 team or top 8 team in the league. You know what I'm saying?
And you would give yourself a chance.
And you give yourself a chance. So, yeah, I mean, that's just how good the roster is, where they've built a buffer between the drop-off from Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? In the past, like if Drew Brees wasn't on the team, it's like, we're lucky to win 4 games. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Like imagine this is like one of the 7 and 9 seasons, and Drew went out with the thumb injury for 5 games.
Oh man, we picking top 2, bro.
Easy, easy, bro. And also, so I want to say this, and again, if you have questioned being emotionally attached to a football team, like maybe today, if games don't do it, maybe today can be that day for you. Because I can already imagine what that experience was like when that Josina tweet came out, and because I've been there, right? Been there. I still remember exactly how I felt that crazy offseason where Jimmy Graham was traded, Kenny was traded. Like I've been less upset with actual breakups except when Jimmy got traded, bruh. Like
I was hurt,
bruh. Just like these niggas gonna do this to me? Like what?
And what's crazy was it's not like we had a week of there are talks of the Saints trading Jimmy Graham. It was nothing. It was just like Adam Schefter. Saints haven't come to an agreement with Seattle to trade Jimmy Graham.
Huh? What? Like, and then I remember how I felt even after like it was announced. I was like, oh well, maybe Jimmy's gonna go and he'll fail the physical. So he's like, bro, like, so I have a feeling that a lot of fans on Saints Twitter had like a similar reaction today. Like, they're gonna trade Alvin? Like, why? Like, why would they do? Like, just another example. Like, just like be a fan, but try, like, if you can disconnect, man, just disconnect, because it is not worth it. Like, it isn't. I promise you. Let's see. I mean, I think we covered it. So to come to like a conclusion, if we're presenting this to the DA, in terms of a suspect, I think both parties were at, because it's negotiations. Like both parties had a role in what happened today. It wasn't just the Saints. It was both parties. It was Alvin's side. It was the Saints side. I will say what's going to be super interesting, that presser tomorrow after practice.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we know Sean well enough to know that he's probably not going to tell us shit, but I know Mike's going to be asking those questions. Cat's going to be asking them. Like, it's going to be interesting. And we haven't even talked about, does anyone know what's going on with Malcolm Jenkins? Like,
no, it's a good question.
Anybody know what's going on with Malcolm? Season starts in 2 weeks. No one knows any idea what's going on with Malcolm. I don't know, man.
He might be in Kenosha, Wisconsin right now. We don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Don't know. So we'll stop upsetting people. But we hope we're able to bring, some clarity, because I know after today's events, the whirlwind that took place it was some questions that people needed answers for. So I hope today was able to get some clarity with this pod. Also, if you're listening to the pod, and if you want to be a part of the Saints Twitter fantasy football draft or league, the draft is this Friday. We have 4 spots left. 4. That's it. So if you want to join Ryan and I, and we do this for fun, it's for bragging rights. There's no money involved. All you have to do to get the invite to you is just become a Patreon subscriber of the hashtag Saints Twitter podcast. That's it. That's it. Go to Patreon.
Any level.
Any level.
$1, $2, $3, $20, $30, whatever.
Just go. You're in the league. We will make sure you get your invite sent ASAP. So, for the draft on Friday, you're in there. So 4 spots left. So we're going to put it on social media. We're going to put it on Twitter. We're going to get it out there. But if you're listening, 4 spots left. Go to Patreon, search hashtag Saints Twitter, donate any level. You can send a DM to myself. You can I don't even give out my Twitter, whatever. You can send a DM to Ryan. You can send a DM to the official at Saints Twitter pod Twitter account. Whatever. We'll get you in there. But that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I'll post a link in the show notes. So just click the Patreon link and subscribe, DM me, say, hey, put me in the league. Case closed.
Boom. Hopefully you and I don't have to have. I mean, I will say this. Hopefully tomorrow, if me and you do have to record a pod, it's us talking about Saints and Kamara have agreed to contract extension. We talking about numbers, blah, 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 blah.
I'll just say, just me following the Saints for so long, I expect the deal to get done. I just do. I just feel like a deal is going to get done. They're close. They want to, both sides want to be with the team. Those 2 variables, once those 2 variables come together, it usually equals a contract extension being done. So that's just how I feel. And if not, I just wouldn't stress about it. Just, at worst, Kamara's still going to be a Saint this year, which is very important, and it's all in year, and we'll see how it plays out afterwards. So, just everybody just relax. Just don't let your stress level. So much going on. I had so much going on in my personal life this week. It's man, it's not even on the list. This doesn't even pop up on the list. It's just fun. It's fun. It's a part of the reality show of professional sports that we enjoy, especially football. So just enjoy it, man. Don't stress about it.
That's it. At the end of the day, it's just football. I mean, it really is. It really is. We're gonna talk about it. We have fun about it. The jokes are super entertaining and super humorous, and will never get old. And that's one thing I love about Saints Twitter. When there's a situation like this,
oh man,
there is not a better fan base on social media to be a part of.
No one better.
Because the jokes will fly. The jokes fly after playoff heartbreak losses. They are fly, and because you got to laugh through the pain. I mean, that's
exactly.
You got to laugh through it.
Exactly.
So
nobody knows how to laugh through the pain better than Saints fans,
bruh. The shout out to Gio Sinatra with his tweet about Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara's ear.
You don't need them niggas, bro. I love it, bro. I love
it. So we'll have another episode. Maybe this week we're gonna try to get a reporter or something on. We're gonna have Greg on tonight. He couldn't. He's working on an article for NFL Network about cuts or unexpected cuts that could happen. Think about this. I mean, we're for sure gonna have to record maybe like Friday or Sunday. That's when the cuts happen, man.
Yeah, buddy. Going down.
Going from 80 to 53. That's what cuts. And it's not just Saints cuts. This is around the league. So there's going to be that period where there's
Saints are going to sign some other players that ain't on the team now, man.
Telling you right now. Happens. That's how Alvin Karama got on the team.
Yeah. Kiko traded?
Kiko was traded. We traded Vince Beagle for Kiko.
Oh yeah.
Vince Beagle played well for the Dolphins last year, man.
Yeah, man.
But we'll for sure be back this week with everything going on. Season set to start. Join this. Become a Patreon subscriber. Follow Ryan on Twitter at ThatBoyWolf. With that, we're out.
Peace.
Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color. And jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.